And here we are. Welcome along. It's Tuesday night again, team. And looks like it's a busy room already. Who we got here? Mexican Speak. Welcome along. Tavo, good to have you here, mate. Hope you're feeling good. Barracuda. So we got Mexican, Australian, and a Kiwi. So that sounds like a first few lines of a joke, doesn't it? Who else we got here? Chris Freemesser, welcome along. Tavo's speaking Mexican. Oh, Spanish, I should say. Sorry, beg your pardon. Who else we got? David Tyree. Hey, welcome along, sir. Good to have you here. And who else have we got? Tavo. Tavo, not too bad. Thanks, Chris. Yeah. Chris Freemesser, Mexican Speak. For the moment, I'm still employed, but I've yet to find out the results of a meeting today. Oh, well, that sounds ominous. I feel like I've missed part of that story somewhere. Mexican Speak #1 until Chris came in here. Oh, there you go, mate. It's the trouble with being at the top. There's only one direction after that. Tavo, Kia Kiwi, Kia Tavo, mate. Paul Funk, hey, welcome along. Good evening, everyone. Don't forget to hit the like button. Well, he's absolutely right there. So, yeah, please do. Chris Freemus, I work in higher education. Things are not well there. Well, due to, well, you know who. Yeah. And Granddad's junk. Mate, what time of the day is it there? Like, you're like an hour and a half early, brother. But hey, we'll take it. It's good to have you here, man. So what's been going on in everybody's world out there? Obviously, Chris has got probably some stuff going on that is probably distracting him from his cars. But what's midday in sleepy New Zealand? Very cool. So, like I said, what's been going on? Tell me your stories, guys. Tell me your stories. What have you been working on? Mexican Speak, you've been keeping busy. I'm seeing lots of posts from you. That is good. Sounds like, looks like you're selling a few cars, which is the name of the game, right? I don't know whether I can ask. I mean, you don't have to answer this, Mexican Speak, but like, how many cars would you sell on average a month? Like, I see a lot of stock turning over there. I'm kind of curious. Mexican Speak. If I'm not busy, I will go crazy. I'm working a deal, but lots of delays. Okay. No, that can happen. Yes. What was the? I saw something today that you had for sale, Mexican Speak, that looked quite interesting. An AMC Hornet, was it? That I saw. I only kind of quickly I saw the notification of it. I honestly didn't have time to click on it and have a look. Mexican Speak, over the past 2 years, I've sold 10 cars. It takes me time with each deal to deliver it either to the border or Florida. Oh, fair enough. Mexican Speak, I don't have all of these cars. Okay, I'm with you. So some of them are just ones that are for sale. So you're trying to on behalf of them, I suppose, I guess. So all the ones we see the pictures of, you don't necessarily own them. Okay, that makes sense. Danny Boyd, welcome along. Good to have you here, man. Who else we got? Rob R, 4662. Good to have you here. Chris Freemesser, you lazy South Islander. That's fighting talk. Good thing you're not a North Islander saying that, mate. You'd be in trouble. Granddad's James. Oh, okay. I see what you're referring to now. Been busy, very good. Been busy. Still in bed having a cup of coffee. Nice for summer. Midday. Wow. Actually, well, okay. I'm not going to say, but I don't know. Chris Freemasson might have a point there, brother. 12 o'clock, like past midday, is it's time to start drinking, not like sleeping. Danny Boyd, Kiwi Civil War. Josh Homan, hey, welcome along, man. Good to have you here. Chris Freemasson, I'm just repeating what Kiwi told me about South Island. Hey, mate, I saw your order for a T-shirt, so thanks for that. I haven't actually got it in an envelope thing and got it out to you yet, but I will try and get that mailed to you tomorrow. It's just been a busy first couple of days of the week, so I'll try and get that underway tomorrow. And who knows? You might have it for the weekend or maybe a little bit of luck. So yeah, don't forget the merchandise, guys. If you want Kiwi Kev shirts or Large Marge shirts, still plenty of them. So yes, better get in before they run out. Not quite sure when that's going to be, but hey. Mexicans back. Driveway Misfits. When the Black Dart GTS I sold shows up on Jamie's channel, watch the comments. If there is anything negative, please don't answer. Okay. Danny Boyd. Tavo, 9:30 a.m. there. Okay. And I'm still dunking Scotch fingers in coffee. Yeah, not a bad little combination there. Tavo, you want to hear what he says about the West Islanders? Danny Boyd, Mexican Spec, I wonder if he'll mention or allude to you. What could I possibly say? Wow, we get thunder here. It's a bit wild and woolly out there. Tavo, g'day, sport. Granny's jug. The joys of being retired and born tired C-section. Any way to catch these lives, I have to be in the house. Any way to catch these lives. There you go. There you go. Chris Freemasson, I don't often read comments. It tends to anger the blood. That's not good, mate. Mexican speaker. I bet Jamie will not mention where the car came from, but people will know. So fill in the blanks, Mexican spec. Did you sell one to Jamie? Did you sell that dart to Jamie? Cool. Great connection if you did. Right. Danny Boyd, today I took the bus and walked another 6 miles and brought the Corolla home this morning. Wow. You're keen walking 6 miles? That's about 5.5 miles more than I'd want to walk. So, I got a bit of an excuse. I got bionic knees, so you know. Mexican spec. Kiwi, I sold the car to a guy that lives in that area. There was a problem with the documents, and the buyer went literally crazy and threatened to kill. Oh, really? Wow. Sorry to hear that, mate. That seems a little over the top. There was a problem with the documents. Wow. What, something that couldn't be resolved, or like? Usually, I mean, yeah, buyers and sellers can usually work through that stuff. Not to say that it can be frustrating for either or both parties, but you just got to work through it, don't you? Danny Boyd feeder saw. Chris Freeman said, didn't know that aspect of it. All Jamie said was the car was getting a 360 and I think a new diff. Okay. Mexican Speak. The document was a court order declaring who the owner was. They presented witnesses and the judge declared that the owner was the wife of the owner. The DMV did not accept those documents. Oh, that's complicated, isn't it? The DMV took it upon themselves to not accept the judge's. Wow. The judge's decision. That's, a little bit power crazy, some of those DMV people. Some of them just seem to like to make it hard. Well, hopefully they get it, you and him and he or whoever's got it sorted out, sorts it out. Barracuda, how many horsepower was the 318 in the mixed spec Dart? 290-ish, as I remember. 290, that'd be pretty high for a 318, wouldn't it? I thought the 318s were around the 230 mark. 290 would be a healthy one. Granddad's junk, Mexi, that's pretty extreme. Get a couple of cartel heavy mates to go and sort the lunatic out. Well, yeah, that might be throwing gasoline on the fire, as they say. Mexican Speak. When the buyer told Washington State Patrol it was a US car and they couldn't find the US VIN, obviously he has convinced himself it was a US car and was stolen and then brought back. Well, that's getting ugly, isn't it? That's getting messy. Chris Freeman, was the court order a Mexican court? Well, yep. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to say that one. Rogel Upholstery. Hope you're well. The Alpine looks like it's coming along good. The Alpine is coming along good. I'm pretty pleased with it. Yeah, it is coming along good. I'm kind of halfway through the next video on it. Just getting more stuff done. So, yeah, watch out for that one. Hopefully that'll come out over the weekend again. Saturday or Sunday, depending on how quick I can edit it. But, putting a new radiator and stuff like that and doing the final touches on that firewall, stuff like that. But, yeah, good to have you along, man. Mexican Spec, Granddad's joke. It's funny you say that. He said his friend was connected to the cartel and that was the way he would take us out. I had to go to talk to them locally. Really? Ooh, yeah. Wow. Well, my initial reaction, correct me if I'm wrong, Mexican Spec, please, because I really don't know. I mean, the most of what I know about cartels is what you see on TV dramas. So, but I get the feeling that unless he's really tight with somebody in the cartel, they're not going to be in the slightest bit interested. That's not really what they seem to do, but maybe I'm wrong. If you had to go and talk to them, that's a little surprising, but hey. Lane Connolly, welcome along. Bought an 88 Ford Ranger XLT 4x4 pickup, 2.9 V6 5-speed manual. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Hang on. It's shot up the page. I went too far. Dropping behind already. But has working AC works manual windows, but has pneumatic lumbar support. Wow. Has some, let's say, patina. What's up with large Mars? Nothing's up with large Mars. Actually, a whole lot of nothing, which is a little frustrating. But, yeah, waiting on engine stuff. Waiting on pistons, waiting on engine builders. Yeah, nothing's really happening. So yeah, but when it does happen, I suspect it will all kind of come together and start to happen quite rapidly. So watch this space. I know I am. Dale Fountain, good evening. Well, good evening, sir. Welcome along. Good to have you here. Mexican spec granny's junk, which okay, carrying on, which I did not want to do. Now they know all of what I do. They were pissed. Their name was used to threaten me. As a local here, they did not offer their services to me. They did offer their services to me. I declined. Well, that was smart. Yeah. Wow, that must be a little. Okay, is that scary interacting with people like that? Or have I been watching too much Breaking Bad? I don't really have no idea what it would be like. Andy Nicol, welcome along. Good to have you here, man. Mexican speak. Yes, it was a judge in Mexico. They had all the documents. If Judge Judy ordered it, they would have accepted it. Yeah. Mexican spec. I know now never to get a car with those kinds of documents. Yeah, well, yeah. It can. Yeah, a bit tough lesson. Well, and a lot of DMVs it would have flown through and not been an issue. I nearly said get away with it, but you didn't get away with anything. Like you weren't trying to get away with something. But the county I live in Franklin, like they are so tough on anything to do with titles. Like they just wish to make life difficult for you. And yeah, you can go one county over and it's a piece of cake. If you've lost your title, it's not a big deal. If all you've got is a bill of sale, it's not a big deal. In Franklin, like a bill of sale is not enough. You've actually got to have a bill of sale witnessed by a justice of the peace, like a JP. And I mean, who is a JP sitting around waiting for them to buy a car? When you go to pick a car up on a Saturday or Sunday, whenever you go and pick it up, typically these old cars, and who has a justice of the peace in tow? They're tough, but I'm guessing this guy took it to a county like that. Barracuda, my 318 was 210 horsepower version. I thought that had pretty good power. Yeah, they did. They did. Good torque too. Mexican spec. At the end of the day, Washington gave him a bonded title, so he is driving it. Okay, so like, has he calmed down a little bit now? He hasn't had it impounded and confiscated, so hopefully he's chilled the hell out. Yeah, Snow Crusher. Hey, good evening, man. Welcome along. Here's an interesting question. Richard Stansbury. Hey, Kiwi. Oh, Kiwi. Hey, buddy. Can you tell us what is your favourite sea shanty? And yeah, that ain't happening. Perform a short I don't have a favourite sea shanty. That's not really my speed, mate. But that's definitely a one-of-a-kind question here. I really don't have a favourite sea shanty. But yeah, you made me laugh, so it's all good. Mexican spec. Kiwi, they know me and that I am here. I knew who to go talk to. Well, that's cool, man. It's just a fact of life, isn't it? Like, you've just got to... what am I trying to say? As you say, they know you're there, they're there, and you just go about your business, don't you? You don't have to cross paths an awful lot, if at all. You've been around a while, so. But yeah, still must be a little I don't know. I shouldn't say must be. I feel like it would be a little daunting, like rocking up to their place to say, "Hey, can I talk to you about this problem?" Yeah, that would be for me a little daunting. But hey, I'm glad it seems to be working out. Granddad's joke, Mixie brother. That's nice of them wanting to help the problem with keyboard warriors and rainbow freaks. A real tough until confronted. Well, ain't that the truth? Chris Freemy, sorry to hear about all these troubles. Sounds like the guy has mental issues or something. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's probably got, yeah, he's got some sort of issues, yeah, whether it's with Hispanic people or something, I don't know. But, like, yeah, maybe he just got very scared that maybe he actually believed that he'd been ripped off. But yeah, for threatening to get people killed by the cartels, that's a bit crazy. That is, yeah, that's definitely shades of mental issues. Jeff Hutchins, welcome along. Got rid of one batch of customers. We'll see if we can make it through the hour before I close up. There you go. Mexican spec driveway of misfits. He does. I've never dealt with somebody so damaged mentally as he. Oh, there you go. Danny Boyd, very clever. They're the cartel and Mex is the cartel. Yes. Yeah, good point. Well, yeah, hopefully it just dies away and dies a death and it doesn't become a huge thing on, anybody's YouTube channel. And yeah. But I bet you Mrs. Mexican Spec was less than happy. I know Mrs. K would have been like freaking out. Someone had said something like that. So yeah, hopefully she's okay. Yeah. Tavo, Jeff Hutchins accidentally break the door lock, so it won't happen. That is one way I've actually taken to locking my door. Now it's gotten a bit too hot. I've got the main doors up, but yeah, through winter I got to locking. Like I had the roll doors down, and I started locking the side doors, especially at lunch times and stuff like that. Or if you're wanting to try and get something done in a set space of time, just turn the phone off and lock the doors and just like leave me the hell alone. So I get it. Mexican Spec, no Kiwi, it is not. I didn't want them to know what I was doing, but I don't make enough or move enough cars to get on their radar. Okay. Okay. Well, but as you say, they know you, so, and you must be okay in their books, so which is a good thing, really. Buddy Carafano, a Hellcat motor and large margin would be a cool upgrade. Yeah, and I did that, when all the different engine options were kind of being bounced around, be it an old school Hemi, be it the stroked out 440 that I've got, or the 318. Yeah, all good options and all valid options. But, the Hellcat, I've got a Wild Child car, and that's the Mustang. And I just want Marge to be a cool cruiser and it to look, for the most part, like a 59 Plymouth. And, the 318 keeps it that way. We're going to have the dual fours and, some headers on it and a little bit of bling in the hood. Not over the top, but a little bit. Just some nice stuff. And, yeah, it'll look, I mean, this is my opinion, of course. I think it will look the part. And but quite how you quantify the part, I guess, is all up to the beholder, sort of thing. Chris Freeman says, I dealt with a person like that once. It was not pleasant. No, you're right. Pop's Mustang shop. I had a memory today. And when I was 10 years old, I would help my dad wash the car, and he would hop in and hit the highway. Dad would wind the motor out, right foot to the floor, and blow the water spots off. There you go. Good memory, man. Good memory. That's awesome. Mexican spec. Who would have thought a court order from a judge would not be accepted? I asked the US customs agent. I sent him the documents, and he said it was fine. I didn't do it blindly. No, well, I mean, I never thought for a moment you would have done it blindly, mate. You seem much more thorough than that. I think from what you've told me and what way I'm seeing it is, he just hit the wrong person at the DMV or the wrong DMV office. And sometimes it's a case of these people aren't brave enough to say, yes, that's okay. And they just don't want to, if in doubt, kind of say no attitude, because they don't want to put their neck on the line. And, some months later, they end up in trouble for, issuing a title on this thing that they never should have. And they just don't want to do anything that might jeopardize their big career in the DMV, but maybe they've got a lot riding on it. Who knows? But some people either aren't brave enough to say yes, or don't have the the authority to say yes. And I guess this guy, when he didn't get exactly what he wanted, lost the plot. But it should have been fine. But yes, most of that issue, I think, lays with that one person at the DMV office. Mexican spec. Kiwi. Buff and Kim is trying to get her 85 junk Bronco 2 registered. They said it was worth $20,000. Oh, seriously? Worth $20,000. Want to charge you $2,000 for taxes alone. Wow. Well, here's the thing. This is where you got to push back, because they are not appraisers. They may have to go and get an appraisal by someone who's kind of accepted in that position and say, because it's junk, because it's, an 85 Bronco. That would have to be a nice one to be 20 grand. 85 Broncos aren't like the top of the hit parade as Broncos go. But they're not terrible either. But it's not like it's the first gen Bronco. And if it's rough, it's not worth 20 grand. That's bloody. I mean, have the people that are trying to force that on them even seen the car in real life? Granddad's showing Mixie, your hoodie mates might want to bake him an almond cake. Okay. Oh dear. Chris Freemeser. Tom at Rocket Resto had all sorts of issues with the Washington DMV. Took him 4 trips before they let him title the LeBaron in his company's name. Yeah, honestly, some of them just want to make your life hell. And I think that's who this guy got. Mexican spec. I see people once in a while on my posts ask me if this car is stolen too. That all stems from him. Yeah, people love. Yeah, there's definitely. Yeah, try to let it bother you, Mexican spec. Honestly, you're gonna get some like that. And some people will want to keep it going because it's kind of interesting. It's like shock. Ooh, Yeah, just got to roll with it, man. Just got to roll with it. Your reputation is will see you through, and you're gonna hopefully it won't happen too often, but this sort of shitty stuff happens every now and again. Now we've got Volfly in the room. Welcome along. Let me just get back up to where I was. There you go. There you go. I'm waiting. Oh, dropped a long way quickly. I really need to catch up. Hang on, can't even find where I was up to. Oh, there we go. Now, Tavo in South Aussie, if you front up at the DMV equivalent with a form, correct engine number, plate number, and VIN filled out, good to go, as long as it's not flagged as stolen or written off. Yeah. Part of the problem, as I see it, here in the States, is you've got so many different, 50 states for a start, and different, so many different counties within the state, and they all run under slightly different rules, and it just gets so complicated. It's just bizarre. Barracuda, my dad had the lightest accelerator foot you could imagine. didn't like burning up gas unnecessarily. Mexican spec, yes, the start was with the Washington State Patrol for a couple of months, and their best guys couldn't find a US VIN. I wonder why. Crazy. Mexican spec, we're not having cartel problems in my town. It's calm here. Yeah, I'm sure it is. But I guess it's. I imagine the cartels in most towns, and they're just doing their thing, and they'll continue to do so. They just get a bunch of TV shows made about them. That's the biggest thing. It's not like, like there's no organised crime in America or Australia or New Zealand. They all have it. Yeah. Chris Freeman, if he told the Washington State Patrol that it was a US car, then it's his own damn fault. Everything turned into a mess. Exactly, yeah. And he was speculating that it was US and then stolen and then back to the US. He just fanned the flames, didn't he? Buddy Caro Fano had a problem with motor vehicles, DMV, because a 68 Buick doesn't have a 17-digit VIN. Yeah, well, neither does a 65 bloody Mustang, some of the people that work in these places really aren't too sharp. Tavo has never been registered in South Australia before. A 10-minute government ID inspection, good to go. Next step, form as above. Right. Yeah, it's really not that complicated, but yeah. That was, what do they like to call that? A clusterfuck, by the sound of it. It was just, the wrong guy taking it to the wrong, not the wrong, but the not an ideal DMV office, and then him running his mouth, and went to hell in a handbag, didn't it? Mexican spec, that is where the mental issues come into play. It was obvious it was a Mexican car from the glass made in Mexico and every other part, not to mention kilometres on the speedo. There you go. Yeah, when somebody doesn't, I'm sure you're aware of this, but when somebody doesn't want to see something, they won't see it. They just won't. They'll look past all the stuff that's, screaming at them and see or believe what they want to believe. Mexican spec, he was not easy to deal with through the whole process. Yeah. Oh, it's a bit of a lesson learned, I guess. If you run into someone like that, like sometimes it's just not worth persevering to make the deal happen. It's like, okay, no problem, don't worry about it, and just withdraw it from the market, But when you're trying to, make some money selling cars, that's the name of the game, isn't it? Selling cars. But sometimes, it's going to catch you. Chris Freeman says every state here has different rules when it comes to registering a car. Exactly, and that I believe is one of the biggest problems. And it really seems to me like every county has different bloody rules as well. Jeff Hutchins, Tavo, I never close early. I get pissed when someone is supposed to be open and they aren't. So I better not be that guy. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, you can't have it both ways, can you, mate? So good for you. Good for you. Doesn't stop you being frustrated. I get it, but hey. Wade Horan. Welcome along, sir. You got a calm demeanour. Seems to have done you well in your endeavours. I enjoy all the Flipper episodes, even when you're slumming around with the UTG guy. All the best to you. Well, thank you, sir. Not much of that slumming going on these days at all, but hey, good to have you on the live, man. Barracuda, that would be unsettling, Mexican speak. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Mexican spec, Jeff Hutchins. I didn't mean to ignore you. I've been looking at my keyboard to type the messages up. Fair enough. Tavo, fair comment, good man. Yeah. Mexican, Mr. Speaker's not freaking out. Well, that's good. That's good. Because that just adds to the if that's happening, and I've been down that road, it just piles on the stress of a situation like that. But no, good for her. She knows her man's got it in hand and under control, so good for her. Well done. Volfly scrolls up. What the hell are you gods? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Volfly? Mexican speak. Hi, Barracuda. People think dealing with the cartel here is hard. Some people over there are much worse. Yeah. I can see that. I can imagine that. Yeah. Chris Freeman is a Volfly. Hey, dude, what's for dinner? Good question. What is for dinner, Volfly? High driveway and all. I don't know. I was thinking hamburgers. Mate, you're meant to be cooking exotic shit. And come on the board here and start telling us all this fancy stuff you're cooking. Like this hamburgers is not going to cut it, mate. Mexican spec. I've been here for 27 years this month. We know each other. There you go. Enough said, mate. Enough said. Danny Boyd gets up to pull out a quarter pound of ground beef to thaw for tomorrow. Chris Freeman is a Volfly. Ever heard of a loose meat sandwich? Loose meat sandwiches? I've never heard of loose meat sandwiches. You will have to enlighten me. Shit. Volfly, perhaps I should knit up a chainmail shirt for Mexican spec. Knife proof. Oh, yeah. No, it ain't going to come to that. That clown's just full of fucking piss and wind. Guys like that usually are. He'd probably run a mile if he thought he knew someone from a cartel of any description. Volfly, I'm out of lunch meat. Oh, there you go. Tavo, Danny Boyd, thanks for reminding me to take something out of the freezer for tonight. Mexican speak. The guy that has a problem with me is in the US. Yeah, no issues. Yeah. And he's not going to come down from Washington to fucking take you out, for God's sake. People like that, they just talk shit. Want to sound tough. Chris Freeman said, not lunch meat, loose meat sandwich made with ground beef. Oh, ground beef sandwich. Okay. Danny Boyd, Chavo, happy eating. Hate when it's afternoon and I realise everything I want is frozen. Yeah. Granny's joke or ground mental cases. Well, yeah. Danny Boyd, like a Johnny Mazzetti. I haven't heard of that, or a Sloppy Joe. Sloppy Joes I've heard of, but not a Johnny Mazzetti. Huh. Jeff Hutchins. I had an ex-girlfriend have a friend call me from out of state, from an out of state line back in the early 90s, and say they were the mob and threaten me. I said, "Come over, me and Mr. Glock will be waiting." I knew it was BS. Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. Amazing what people think they can pull off or get away with. The mob don't typically get involved in other people's domestic disputes. So I'm sure they have their own, but yeah, they're not like, they don't play guns for hire for he said, she said domestic disputes. It's just, it wasn't very believable from the start, really, was it? Chris Freemus of Offline, Midwestern thing. Cook the ground beef in a skillet, chop it up finely, season it. Then when it's just starting to turn crispy, drain it and put it in a hot dog bun. It's quite good. Huh. There you go. Offline eyes the sloppy Joe mix on the kitchen shelf. Hot dog bun. That's a contradiction. Well, it is a little bit, yeah, but I mean, bun's a bun. Mexican speaker was Arizona DMV and Washington DMV. They both refused it. Well, okay. Interesting that two different DMVs from different states refused it. I guess they're just real nervous about, Mexico. So yeah, it's curious. I've thought about bringing cars, a car in from New Zealand, and I have wondered, how that would go, getting it, titled and tagged. Granddad's showing, Jeff, you're my kind of guy. When the lead is flying, they all duck for cover. Well, I mean, that's usually the kind of one of the better courses of action when there's lead flying. To be fair, that's what I'd be doing. Chris Freemesser, Vilefly, I know, but it works well. Kind of a quick blue-collar lunch thing Detroit factory workers would get. There you go. Mexican spec, the 20,000 was the average on the Bronco. That means others sold for more. Wow, average. No Bronco 2 has ever sold for that much. Yeah, Bronco 2. I had a guy quite a few years back now, and he had a very pretty blue and white Bronco 2, but it was a 70s one, and he paid like 39 grand for it. From one of these high-priced consignment dealerships. He paid, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. But yeah, I'm kind of more with you, Mexican spec. No, they're not worth that much. Danny Boyd or a made right sandwich. Huh. Okay. Mexican spec Bronco 2, the Ranger-based Bronco 2. Yeah, well, I would have said that if the one I'm talking about was like an F100, like had the same front half as my 74 F100. But it had a removable top on the back. But yeah, I thought that was a lot of money. Yeah. Uh, Danny Boyd, when I was in first grade and they served pizzas at lunch, my friend Randy called it shit on shit on the shingle. Charming. Mexican speak. Oh, all gluten free bread is expensive. Well, yeah, figures. Barry Cooter, I've heard the 80s Broncos have gone up in value. Well, yeah, I don't, no idea, mate. So you could well be right. Firefly never made Salisbury steak. Not very motivated to do so since school lunch. Yeah, weren't school lunches terrible? Chris Freeman, so around here, one DMV office could reject something, then you go to a different office and they'll accept it. That's been my experience too, mate. Yep, exactly. Exactly that. Mexican spec. Miss suspect maybe barbecue chicken tacos. That doesn't sound too bad, does it? Jeff Hutchins, golden crusted Bronco. Well, yeah. Vilefly. I usually don't cook ordinary. Ordinary sometimes is a treat. Sometimes you just crave greasy foods. Well, yeah. Especially if you've had a couple to drink, that seems to start to look more appetising. It does to me anyway. Barry Cooter, I'm hearing the value of RAM charges is going up too. Yes, those are. They've kind of been discovered. And yeah, that's rocketing up, especially being a Mopar. Volfly, no fresh chicken to fry. Grocery need restocking. It's a problem. Jeff Hutchins, I'm not a fighter, not a tough guy, but a gun has saved my butt and people around me a few times. Never leave home without it. It works for me, maybe not for others. To each their own. Oh, exactly. Exactly. Mexican spec Barracuda, I'm seeing that here for two-wheel drive RAM charges. Okay. Volfly, I'm not a gun person. Seems to increase chance of death when brandished in public. Yeah, I mean, I'm in the Volfly camp on that one. Not to be take anything away from you, Jeff. If you're confident with a gun, and it's been they've been part of your life for some time, and you know what you're doing, then yeah, it would be great. But I'd just be a waste of space, I think, with a gun. I'd have to think about what the hell I was doing, how I'd fire the thing. And I've fired a couple of guns over the years, but shit, I'm 64 years old. The number of guns I've handled is probably less than the average 15-year-old American. So yeah, I'm not the poster boy for arming yourself, I'm afraid. Chris Freemess, Barracuda, the price of any halfway decent used car is going up. The smart people are increasingly shunning the new stuff. It's a movement. It is a movement for sure. For sure. Brad Easton, welcome along, mate. Hey, fellow Kiwi, I've been enjoying the Alpine Build series. Some great fab work. Well, thanks, man. I'm doing my best. I'm trying pretty hard on that one. I'm usually motivated to kind of try and do nice work, but I'm just a little bit more motivated on that car. I'm sure you guys understand. Granddad's saying, Jeff, brother, your mate Smith and Weston even the odds. Yeah, yes. What do we got here? Jeff. Granddad's saying, Brad, brother, Kiwi invasion has started. Indeed. Speaking of that, where's Dean? Yeah. Well, good question. Jeff Hutchins, Volfly, not getting political, but I don't start the problem. There's millions of us armed every day. Yeah, we're not the problem. The illegally armed ones are, and we have to deal with them responsibly. Yeah, well, that's part of the battle, isn't it? It's not a level playing field, is it? So, yeah. Jeff Hutchins, if you're not out of control, you'll never know who was armed around you every day. Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. A lot of truth to that. Mrs. K is always shocked by how many of her, Southern lady friends, carrying a gun in their purse. She's like, oh my God, like she freaks her out. Like there's no way Mrs. K would ever be walking around with a gun. But hey, and it's probably a good thing because she wouldn't know which end to hold on to, probably. And I'm not trying to be mean to her. I'm really not. But when you just don't grow up with them, it's very, very different. Mexican spec. We aren't allowed to have guns here. Maybe that is a good thing. I'm not sure. There's arguments for and against Mexican spec. Honestly, there's arguments for and against. Jeff Hutchins, Mexican spec. If he's heading your way, you'll have to come through here. I'll intercept him. See, you got backup, Mex. You got backup. This is always a good thing. Granny's junk. Truth is, when people are reasonable and prepared to work at sorting it, nothing is a problem. Amen. Yep, you're absolutely right. Well said. Problems happen. Problems occur. Like shit happens, and sometimes people do some shady shit, and sometimes it just shit happens. And I think that's what's happened with this case with Mexican. But the guy just handled it all wrong. Volfly, I will buy some frozen Cornish game hens for a proper dinner. Ooh, fancy. They are slowly making a comeback from the bird flu, wiping them out. Braised in the oven with a raspberry chipotle marinade. Wow, that sounds good. Mexican spec. Jeff Hutchins, he isn't coming here. He said he knew somebody that knew the cartel here local to me. I had to take that as a credible threat. Fair enough. Fly, tell him you have a social security number. Threaten to sell his ID. May not be worth much, mate. Mexican spec. Does New Zealand have titles, or what kind of paperwork do they have? They have what they call ownership papers. And really the key difference with ownership papers in New Zealand is that piece of paper, or pages, as it can be at times, comes with the car when it's produced for the car when it's brand new, and it stays with the car. If you've got a 60-year-old car, in theory, you've got a 60-year-old piece of paper that is the ownership papers, and it lists every owner, everyone who's purchased it, through the multiple owners through the year. Their name and address is on it. The mileage when it was sold is recorded on the same document, and it stays with the car. Same as the tags, the license tags. Typically stay with the car throughout its life. Unless someone puts a personalized plate on it, or a specialty plate, something like that, can change that. But typically the tags stay with the car and this ownership papers, and it's actually a great way to track and see where the car's been, who's had it. Was it lady owners? Was it guys? Has it had 25 owners? Because it wasn't a very good car and people kept getting rid of it after 6 months or 12 months, that title, or the equivalent of a title, really does tell you a lot of stories, because when you buy a car here, like, all you ever really know about is the previous owner, the guy you're buying it off, guy or lady you're buying it off. And that's as far back as the history typically goes. I honestly think that is a better system. It has, there's little bonuses in there. It helps to sort of cut down on people fudging the mileage, stuff like that. I mean, I've got a 64 SS in the shop at the moment, which is allegedly 26,000 mile car. But there's no documentation to back it up. It's a super nice car. It really is. I can't, is it or isn't it? I don't know. I really don't know. It's had a repaint. A lot of cars that lower mileage have not had a repaint. They're operating on original paint. I mean, we're talking about a car that's done 26,000 miles. That's like what? 64, so it's 62 years old. And what's that? 500 miles a year or something it's done over the course of its life. That's not many miles. So yeah, but if you had the ownership papers they have in New Zealand, it would show you the history of the owners, when it was bought and sold and stuff like that. So it can help to back up those claims. Now, Brad Eastham, ground beef in a bun sounds like a poor man's pie. Well, yes, kind of is in a way. I never thought about it like that. Pretty good. Good old mince pie. It's pretty good. Sorry. You'd think I'd remember not to keep hitting that down button, but I do. I lose my place. Just go straight to the bottom of the comments. There we go. Granddad's junk, we have a change of ownership, not a problem. Yeah, well, that's what I've just been talking about. Jeff Hutchins, I wouldn't give you $5,000 for any Bronco 2. They're not my first pick of vehicles by a long shot. I do think a Bronco 2 is better than a Bronco 1. The Bronco 1s, they're a farm truck. They should really stay on the farm, but people put all the shit on them and try and go down the interstate, and they're terrifying. They handle so badly. Mexican speak Volfly. I won't communicate with him anymore. He can't make up any more lies if I don't talk to him. Some truth to that, brother. Granddad's joke. Oh, sounds like he needs his tongue and fingers posted to his mother. Remind me not to let him get on the wrong side of you, Tony. Jeez. Wow. Volfly. You won't have to tell him anything when you actually sell his identity. Mexican speak. Granddad's joke. I'm a big believer in karma. Things will not go well in his life, and I'm sure about that. I'm with you, man. Karma is a thing. Is a thing, absolutely. Polaroid do one. Clean, not rusted Bronco 2s go for 5 to 10K in Colorado, but these are pretty nice examples. Yeah, 20 grand seems a lot for an average price. I'm not sure where they're getting that from. And that's just bloody, just tax greed. I mean, who's to say that, if it was worth 20 grand, but Buff, scored it for 5 grand, you have to pay the tax on a theoretical value. Like sometimes you stumble across a bargain at times through your life, and you think, fuck, yeah, this is awesome. I got such a bargain. And sometimes it happens. They're allowed to tax you on what someone else behind a desk in an office tucked away from the real world thinks it's worth. That's BS. Mexicans, what started this was the car I sold, 69 Dodge Dart GTS in black, will be on Dead Dodge Garage soon. I doubt it will be said where the car came from. Well, Jamie's, he's no dummy. And yeah, I don't. I agree with you, Mexicans. I don't think he'd say anything. What's to be gained by because Jamie's probably got a reasonable idea what this guy's like. It'll be interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't lose too much sleep about it, mate. I don't think. I think Jamie's smart enough to keep his nose the hell out of it. Because and I don't know whether you've spoken with Jamie about it. I have no idea. But I mean, if he's going to take this guy's, take every word he utters about the deal as the gospel truth, then yeah, he's a fool, and he's not. He's not. Let's make that very clear. He's not. Barracuda, I've had shots fired at me, bullets kicking up dust about 20 feet to the side of me. But it was okay. It was just a friend shooting at me. Okay. Remind me not to go to a party at your place when all your friends are there. Okay. Is that what you mainlanders do? Is that a bit of entertainment? Is it shooting at your friends? Yeah, it must be a mainland thing. Beagle Bob. Hey, welcome along, brother. Good to have you here. Yeah. What have you been up to, Beagle Bob? You've usually got something to tell us about what you've been doing with your projects. I think you're the busiest man on here, which is cool. Mexican spec. Polar I do. The one in question was bought for $300. It was slightly burned. Yeah, well, I mean, $300. People do pay $300 for cars. Polar I do. Yeah, toasted Bronco 2s. You're lucky to get $2,000. Yeah, I would say so. Mexican spec. Tennessee DMV says it's worth Tennessee DMV says it's worth 20,000, and they aren't coming off that. Wow. That's crazy. Oh well. I haven't heard of the Tennessee DMV setting values on cars before, but I haven't been to every tag office in Tennessee, so who knows? They just need to push it higher. I mean, if they can show a receipt and the person they bought it off is willing to say, yes, that's what they paid me, then I don't really see they got a leg to stand on. Jeff Hutchins, Mexican spec. Jamie said the dart came from you on a Sunday Night Live. Oh, okay. Huh. There you go. I don't know what else he said, of course, so... Fly, the DMV got greedy, like when they wanted me to license my 50cc scooter when it's exempt. Yeah, that's true. Mexican speak. Jeff Hutchins, it was on the live, ? I saw a post on Instagram. Okay. Mexican speak. Jeff Hutchins, did he? That surprised me. Yeah, surprises me too. Polaroid do they have to justify that price? Can you open up Craigslist or Marketplace and show them they're smoking crack? Possibly suggesting they're smoking crack is not the way to get them to change their mind. But I hear what you're saying. Generally, when the people are in a position of authority, it's not much authority, but it's still authority. Comments like that just tend to make things go downhill, but I hear what you're saying, man. Okay. Driveway of Misfits, Jeff Hutchins. Jamie didn't actually say that until I asked if it was the one Mexican sold. Well, I guess he's just giving an honest answer. Did he? I'm assuming he didn't weigh in on any controversy on the car. Who knows? Granddad's joke. Illegal guns are a problem here in New Zealand. If you know who to ask, you can get almost what you want. Oh, of course. The world's very, very small. There's, if you know the right people in New Zealand, I'm sure you could get yourself a grenade launcher if you wanted it. But yeah, you just got to know the right people and have the correct amount of money or the suitable amount of money. Mexican speak. Alrighty, they have it in their computer. That says that I told Kim to ask where they got that price. Yeah, fair enough too. That's weird. I've tagged some very cheap cars that were pretty much just ready for the scrapyard, and like I wasn't actually fudging the system. That was what I paid for. And you can get a car that a good running one might well be worth 20 grand, but if it's absolutely shot, then it's really not much above scrap value. I mean, if you go in and try and get tags on it for less than what someone could just ring up and get the scrapper to pay for it, then you're kind of pushing your luck. But yeah, some people do get a bit silly with it too, David Tyree, I'm the opposite of you, Chris. I've been around firearms my entire life. I've got more firearms than cars. Wow. In New Zealand. Wow. Yeah, it's just not that. Yeah, me and firearms have not really crossed paths. Very, very minimally. I've fired a couple of guns, I had to play with a shotgun, shooting the clay pigeons and stuff at an event that we went to. And I got to fire a handgun at that same thing, but yeah, very, very minimal. My dad's rifle when I was quite a bit younger, out the back of Beyond in Taranaki when there was no one anywhere. We just, we did a little bit of target practice. And that was in the days before there was really, much in the way of paperwork or permits or anything needed for guns in New Zealand, but they were just so scarce, I'm talking back when I was, 10 or 15 years old. Chris Freeman, Granddad's junk. Illegal guns are a problem everywhere. My brother runs the firearm inspection lab at our county crime lab. Wow. No shortage of work for him, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah, no, he's not going to be out of work anytime soon, is he? Still. I mean, it's a job that needs doing. So, yeah. Good for him. $1998 Dodge JD. 1998 Dodge JD. Kiwi soup. What? Okay, Well, why is that changing? I put my little cursor over it, goes, what is that? Some sort of translation. It says sup Kiwi, and then you move my little cursor and it goes Kiwi soup. That's weird. What's going on there? But yeah, what's up, Kiwi? Well, yeah, just chilling, sitting back, sipping on a bourbon, chatting with the boys. Discussing the merits of firearms and cartels and the mob and a few little bits and pieces about cars thrown in there. It's kind of how it goes here anyway. Jeff Hutchins, Chris Freemasser, yeah, that sounds right. I doubt he'll mention anything about any controversy. No reason to. No. Mexican speak. So the government doesn't issue a title. It sounds like that is like the Mexican documents. Our ownership document is the original sales invoice that the old owner signs the back to the new owner. It does. Yeah, that sounds similar. Yeah, it's not worded as a title. It's not called a title. but it would be the New Zealand equivalent of a title. But obviously in New Zealand, it's one state, it's one country. There's not different states, so you don't have the whole state issue. It's just you have a car in New Zealand, you have a car in New Zealand. And yeah, that ownership paper, it's not really the invoice. It's not quite the same. It's not the original sales invoice. That whoever wants that can keep it, or you can throw it away if you want to. It's not the original sales invoice is not signed over to the new owner, but the ownership papers are, and the ownership papers are actually issued by the government. So yeah, it's somewhere in between a title and your system, I would say. Brad Easton. Okay, well, this is probably more up to date what's going on. It's all digital ownership now. Barely any paperwork around because they're not valid. Oh, okay. See, I forget how long I've been out of New Zealand. And it was 2008 I came here, so it's a while ago. So yeah, Brad. Thanks for chiming in on that, because I'm kind of giving out misinformation. I guess it's digitally a digital version of that now, but it kind of figures they've doing away or done away with the paperwork side of things. Mexican spec. Nobody looks at mileage here. Oh, really? No, they did. I think they still do in New Zealand, but they definitely did. Mexican spec. That's a good question. Brad Eastman. Digital on old cars too. Good question. David Tyree. They're not ownership papers. They're registration papers. Actually, David, I think you're right there too. That the ownership papers was, I think everyone called them that, didn't they? But technically they were registration papers, weren't they? Yeah, you're right. I've kind of slipped down that rabbit hole. They kind of became a nickname, wasn't it? Ownership papers. If you had those, you kind of were the owner of the car, but not really. The reality was they were registration papers. Actually, you bring back a memory. I remember my old man having a little rant and rave about that, saying, these are not ownership papers, they're registration papers. And I'm like, oh yeah, Dad, whatever. You know how that goes. But yeah, no, you're quite right, David. Yeah, ownership papers, they're actually registration papers. Shut down the page again. Wow, I'm way behind. Good Lord. There you go. Way behind. Okay, I'm just going to jump in here. Tavo, our change of ownership is pretty much the same as Kiwi said. Registration papers are essentially the title, even though it states on them that this is not proof of ownership. History is not as accessible. Is not as accessible. Yeah. I was really talking at the side of my head, really. And yeah, they're not ownership papers, they're registration papers. You're quite right. I'd actually forgotten that. So sorry, guys. But yeah, they were always nicknamed. Not nicknamed isn't quite the right term, but they always seem to be always referred to as ownership papers when they were technically registration papers. Anyway, I'm just repeating myself. Todd Denier, hey, welcome along, man. Good to have you here. How's that Marlin coming along? Mexican spec. Yes, I've spoken to Jamie about it because this guy cried to him about it. Yeah, trying to drum up support. Jamie said he would not recommend me as a seller or him as a buyer. Fair enough. It's not his place, is it? Yeah. Jeff Hutchins, to be clear, Jamie said nothing about any dispute. Oh, Cool. Tavo, neutral ground is sometimes the best. Yeah, well, yeah. That is, it does get a little bit tricky when you're, how do I word this? Not, I mean, when you're an internet personality, I don't know quite how to phrase that right. I mean, Jamie's not a superstar. He's a good dude, but he's not a superstar. Um, but his opinion does carry a little more weight than Joe Nobody sort of thing, because he's got a whole lot of followers and fans and stuff like that. So his opinion does carry a little bit of weight. So you've got to be a little bit careful with that. Granddad's junk. It's just a shame it flowed into the public domain rather than getting sorted out behind closed doors. Yeah, that's the way it should have been handled. Yeah. Mexican Spectavo, I agree. Yeah. Mexican Spec. Granddad's junk. It is done for me. If it comes up again, I will handle it. Yeah. Well, I'm sure Mexican Spec's had more than enough of it. So, Granddad's, yeah, Chris Freemasson. That's the world we live in. What with social media, the forums, and the such. Yeah, well, if you want to, yeah, jump on a Mustang forum one day if you want to see some freaking lunatics. Like, holy moly, some of the stuff that gets said on those Mustang forums. I just pop on there every now and again just for a bit of entertainment, certainly not for information, but just it's like wow. Vilefly refuses to sell cars for a living. Well, that's possibly not a terrible stance. Todd and I, Chris and Cruz. I should be driving the Marlin this weekend. I was going to be driving it already, but the fuel pump quit again. Ah, damn it. So I bought an electric one and a pressure regulator. Okay, there you go. That'll make it work. Mexican Spec, driveway of misfits. I'm sure the buyer posted it on for A bodies in a public thread, but the administrators made it private. After all I posted, they regretted getting in the middle of it. After all I posted, they regretted getting in the middle of it. Yeah, well, that's. I bet they did. I bet they did. Mexican Spec, driveway of misfits. I have to finish the story about the death threat and all of that. They should know who he is. He started it. After all, fair enough. Here in New York, if you claim a low value for your car, the DMV can call you out on it and revalue the car. You pay 8% sales tax when you register the car. Yeah, well, I mean, there has to be. Otherwise, people are going to be, valuing Ferrari Testarossas at $3,000. Somebody will try that. Well, when you're trying to dodge 8% sales tax, like if it's a $300 car, it's not much. If it's a $300,000 car, it's quite a lot. And people are incentivized to try and dodge that if they can, or some of it, if not all of it. Granddad's Jane, Brother Todd, a video of your drive we would love to see. Yeah, video your drive, we would love to see it. Exactly. Yeah, we would. Beagle Bob Volfly, you can make a living refusing to sell cars. Mexican Spec, Volfly, I've had problems with exactly 1 in 10 clients. That's a pretty good record. Yeah. Yep. It's a fair comment. Granddad's junk. Your sales tax is like our GST. Yeah, the difference, Tony, is that whenever you buy a car in the States, no matter how old it is or how many owners it has, you pay sales tax on the price you paid for it. So, like a new car that's, for a round figure, 50 grand, you pay your sales tax on that. You sell it 18 months later for 35 grand. The guy who pays the 35 grand for it pays sales tax on the 35. That means the government's now receives sales tax on $85,000 for the same car. And then if it gets sold again in another 18 months for 25 grand, they get the sales tax on that 25 grand. And it just goes on. And when some of these cars are 60 years old or more, the sales tax that's been earned off those cars is staggering, especially on some of these restored cars that have had that are going for 3 and 4 and 500,000. Some of these collector cars. You watch these televised car auctions, and the car will sell for 200,000. Plus buyer's commission and all the rest of that stuff that goes with the auctions. Well, then when they take it home and tag it, register it in their name, or however you want to word it, it's the 10% ish sales tax on that 200,000. It's another 20 grand. And whoever had it, this is where the government, I think, here in the States, and it's getting a little political, I know, are a little greedy, because like some of the cars I've built, they've spent a lot of money on. They've been charged sales tax on everything they've spent on the car. The labor, the parts, all get billed out with sales tax. And the next person buys the car and people say, oh, it's worth a lot more money now. Well, yes, it is, but they've already received the sales tax on the money that's been spent on that car. And then the car gets sold and they get the sales tax all over again. It's a bit of a rort, I think. New Zealand, basically, when you pay your sales tax on the new car, and then after that it drops off. Anything you sell privately, there's no sales tax. There's no, they call it GST in New Zealand, goods and service tax. And the used car dealers, they pay the tax on the profit they make. So if they buy a car for 10 grand, sell it for 15, they owe sales tax on the 15. On the 5 grand profit, I should say, sorry, from the difference between the 10 and 15. And the dealer has to pay that, not the buyer. The buyer doesn't pay that. That just comes out of the dealer's profit margin. So, yes, quite different. Wildfly, yes, it is. I'm just not good at selling, and too much of a goof. Todd Denier, Granny's Junk, going to be getting video of it. Cool, awesome. Robber, Driveway of Misfits. They have a chart they have to follow if the value is below a given amount. That being said, if you have both what is that? A DTF 802 and a bill of sale, they usually won't question it. What's a DTF 802? Haven't heard of that before. Mexican speak. Volfly, I hate selling cars, but I have to. The cars here sell themselves mostly. I just do the legwork. Yeah, getting it organised, getting it transported, making it possible. Yeah. Volfly, for a few extra bucks, I will throw in the nitrous. Chris Freemius, a Granddad's Junk. Yep, sales tax varies from county to county here in New York. 4% state tax plus whatever your county's tax rate is. Ours is 4%, no tax on clothes or many groceries, though. Okay. Yeah, here in Tennessee, it's 9.75, 7.75 on some groceries and stuff like that. Granny's Junk, do you pay sales tax on a private sale? Of cars, you do, yeah. Yep, you do. Barry Cooter, my friend was firing subsonic 22 bullets in my direction. He said he didn't think they'd reach me, but they did. It wasn't a smart thing to do. I was not happy. Oh, I bet you weren't. Subsonic. All that means is they're going a little bit slower than the speed of sound. That's still fairly fast. Volfly, I'm horrible at accounting. Yeah, you and me both, brother. The tediousness drives me batty. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Chris Freemus, a private sale of a car question. You pay the tax when you register the car. Yeah. Yep. Tavo, we have a stamp duty, estate tax, which is when first registering or transferring a car. Works much the same on car value. As long as you don't put the lowest level, $500 or less, they won't normally question it. Yeah. It's not worth their time, typically. Mexican spec, that's what accountants are for. Yeah, fair enough. Jeff Hutchins, I'd recommend Mexican spec as a seller. I might buy something from him someday. If I ever buy a Mexican car, it'll be through him. I'm only hearing one side, but it sounds like he is out of touch. Yeah. Just the way that other guy just handled it tells the story. Tells you all you need to know, really. Chris Freemish and Jeff Hutchins, for sure. I'd totally buy a car from Mex if the circumstances allow me to buy another toy. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I see some of the cars you have for sale, Mex, and I was like, ooh, I got to stop looking at his posts because it's not good. Randy saying, wow, we don't pay GST on private sales, second-hand cars, etc. No, you do here, mate. Tavo, when I registered the Neon, I put $1,500 as the value, no question. When I insured it, they put $3,800 on it. Good for you, man. Mexican spec. Jeff Hutchins, thank you, Jeff. I know not to buy cars with those types of documents, and I do see them for sale like that. They have to have the original bill of sale. It's a lesson learned, isn't it, mate? It's a lesson learned. You did it in good faith, and I think you just got caught by the wrong guy. Not caught sounds like you're guilty of something. No, that's not what I mean, sorry. But you just got screwed by the wrong guy. Jeff Hutchins, Beagle Bob, sorry to hear about your dad. Oh, mate, did I miss what? I missed that. Beagle. What happened there, man? I'm sorry. Did you lose your dad? That's awful, mate. Been down that road. It's tough. It's very tough. So yeah, sorry to hear that. If I'm reading that right. Wow, sorry, man. Volfly, yeah, delegate authority and all that. I just won't deal with people or paperwork. Oh, fair enough. Now what do we got? The holes. Kiwi. Have you played with many Italian cars, Alfa and Lancias, etc., etc.? No, mate, I really haven't. I have not. Just haven't come across my path, Lancias are just not a very common car. Very, very Italian, and Italian cars are their own thing. I'd be honest. I'll be a little nervous about playing with them. If it was for me, I'd figure it out. But to try and work on it for someone else, I don't think it's really fair on the someone else. Like I don't know enough about them to start billing them for what I don't know. It's not really fair. So that doesn't get me any more experience with them, of course. But I got enough to do. Would I own an old Alfa or a Lancia? Hell yeah. I would like a Lancia Delta Integrale, which was a very successful Group A rally car back in the day. One of those would be pretty cool. They were a 2-point-something litre, 4-banger turbo, a little rocket ship, flared fenders from the factory, and kind of a bit like the early BMW M3s. They had fenders a bit like that. And cool car, man. Cool car. Good rally car. Granny's Grovo Misfits, Granddad's Junk. Yep, every time a car is registered, you pay sales tax on it. Yep. A car could have 10 owners over its lifespan and the state collects sales tax 10 times. Yep, that's what I was saying. Fortunately, I wasn't up enough with the thing to read it. David Tyree, there are between 1.2 and 1.7 million firearms in New Zealand. What's the population now? David, haven't they hit around 5 million now in New Zealand? So that's still less than, if it's 5 million, what's that? Less than 20% gun ownership. Not less than 20, less than, I don't know, my brain's not good enough to work out that percentage, but not high, given a lot of people here in the States own, 5 or 6 guns. I'm not sure what the number here is, but yeah, 1 million is 20%, so it's going to be 25%. One in 4 New Zealanders have got a firearm, somewhere around there. Firefly, much more fun building things, much more satisfying. I'm with you. Granddad's Junk, what a rip-off. Governments are the biggest gang of all. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Mexican spec, a lot of firearms in Mexico because a certain president thought it would be a good idea to give the cartels guns to track them. Brilliant. To track them? Oh, good Lord. Seems like your politicians aren't that much sharper than ours, Mex. Wow. Mexican spec. Imagine if the US did documents like Mexico. A 70 Plymouth Superbird would have the original buyer on it. Then every owner after that, it would be easy to prove the famous owners. Exactly. Firefly, whether it's scale mail or food or cars or electronics, it's my version of fun. There you go. The wife caught me putting a puzzle in the center of a lariat. Okay. Not sure that I follow that one completely, but yeah. Beagle Bob, I got the baller mufflers on my car. Need to finish the shocks, but I thought the Camaro sounded very good. Nice mufflers. Those baller mufflers are nice. Expensive, but nice. Andy Nichols, 16, and I was hunting with a friend. I was using an outhouse on an abandoned farm where I heard a bang and then pellets raining down on the OH. Ran out screaming to find friend, laughing. I passed it off. Oh, good Lord. That's funny. Andy Nickel, he figured it was safe, never went hunting with him again. There you go. Barracuda, got my firearms license when I was 16. All that was involved was listening to the local butcher shop owner talk about gun safety for half an hour, and the license came in the mail. Things are a little bit different today, though, aren't they, bud? Chris Freeman said, Granddad's Junk, it is what it is. At least the cost to renew registration here in New York is crazy cheap. Yeah, I mean, it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? New Zealand, Granddad's Junk, what does it cost to register your car now? Or tag your car, as they would say here in the States, but to register, your yearly fee that you pay to the government to have your car on the road. What is it? Isn't that around $500-600 in New Zealand now for a year? Or does it depend on the car? I can't quite remember. Mexican spec. Since no one looks at mileage here, there is no incentive to turning the clock back on an odometer. That used to be huge in New Zealand. It used to be huge. They were importing a lot of cars from Japan, and they were getting the speedos wound back mercilessly. Yeah, there was a period there where like every used Japanese car that came into the country had 40-something thousand Ks on it. Like that seemed to be the desirable number, around that mid 40,000 kilometers. Every single one. Like, it was just It looked so shady. Yeah. And it was. Tom, shoot. One tap too many. Shoot down the page. Mexican speak. It's clear Kiwi hasn't played with Italian cars. He still has his hair. Well, a fair bit of it. Yeah, you're right. It's funny. Yeah. Where are we here? Wow, I'm not keeping up at all here. Todd deny. Mexicans speak here in Minnesota. When a title is transferred, the mileage is required, but only for a certain number of years. Then it switches to NA. Yeah, I think a lot of states are like that. Mexicans speak. Todd deny. Yes, like in all states, only up to 10 years old. Nobody here really asks about how many kilometres a vehicle has. It indicates nothing one way or the other. Not really, no. No, you're right. Mexican speaks. Yeah, they don't need to be the 5-digit odos. Yeah. Barracuda, it's been a while since I was 16. You and me both, mate. You and me both. Wildflight, be right back. Tavo, 99% of the time, if it's registered to you, you probably own it. That's a pretty fair comment, mate. Pretty fair comment. Todd and I kept a photocopy of the old title when I transferred it into my name. The old title lists the mileage at 40,000 from when the previous owner bought it, and now shows 40,000. 500 miles more. Good Lord. Wow. That's cool. So Todd, is that 40? Is that original miles, or is it like 140, 240, or something? Is that, or are you figuring that is actually the real deal mileage? That'd be cool if it was. Jeff Hutchins Volfly. There's two Broncos again. The regular Bronco and a downsized Bronco Sport based on the Escape. The new ones, yeah, that Bronco Sport's a bit of a yeah. It's just a Ford Escape with a bit of different. Slightly different outer skin, isn't it? Brad Eastman, yes, all digitals on all cars. Change of ownership can be done in minutes over the internet with just the plate number, and you'll get an email confirmation in minutes. Far too easy. Wow, it's changed a lot. David Torrey, Mexican spec. No, it just shows the person the vehicle is registered to. So, David, is there still a perception that they're, am I just woefully out of date? Is there still a perception that they're ownership papers, even though they are registration? What, if that's, like what is deemed to be to show your ownership of a car in New Zealand now? Granddad's Chuck. Oh, goodness me, that's a bit adults. This is my sense of humour. We call Mustang owners two cocks. They couldn't get that silly playing with one. Well, okay, I'm not sure how to take that, Granddad. I do own a Mustang. Yeah. I remember reading when was it? When I think it was Instagram. their videos, little video clips you would put on Instagram. They were like 20 seconds long, and they changed it, and it went from being a maximum of 20 seconds to like a minute or something, or whatever it is now on Instagram. And somebody posted, Instagram have changed the maximum time for your shorts to a minute or whatever it was, because 20 seconds was not enough to show a quarter mile from a Mustang, quarter mile run done by a Mustang, which I thought was pretty funny. Anyway, that's my sense of humour. Tabo, the stamp duty I mentioned is the value of the car, not the sale price. Buy a cheap car for $1,000 with transmission issue, but fixed, is worth $5,000. You pay on the $5,000. Oh, okay, interesting. Wow, Mexican spec. We pay 16% tax on everything purchased or paid. Wow, they charge 16% on the rent on a house. Wow, that's tough. Whew. The holes. Been explaining to my 13-year-old and 17-year-old, after you pay income tax, you still pay sales tax, fuel excise, etc. They are mortified, so the same dollar is taxed several times. Yeah, and that's supposed to not be a thing. You're supposed to not pay, you're supposed to only pay tax once, but they've found a way around it. Snow Crusher, we have a GST, a federal tax, and PST, a provincial sales tax. You have to pay both on new cars and dealer sold units, but only PST on private sales. Wow, that's a little complicated, isn't it? Okay, so Chris Freemasher and Rob are bonding over their locality to each other. And Volfly's back. He's probably been back for 10 minutes. I'm so far behind on the messages. Barracuda. Just out of nowhere, Savloys. Like, really, Barracuda? You just got to drop that little bomb in there and get everyone going again about Savloys? Mexican spec. He wants, she knows, an 81 Dodge Dart. Some of those had no heater at all. No, that was an option to not have heaters. Well, you've lived in California or Hawaii, you really didn't need them. New York, you need them. Chris Freemas, I would love a Lancia Gamma, but they were never sold here. My Fiats will have to do. We're finally down to the Mexican spec. Commented about my hairline and how good it is due to no Italian cars. Todd Denier, hearing what some of you are paying for sales tax is mind-blowing. I thought Minnesota was high at 6,875 state tax, but some counties and even some cities add their own additional sales tax. Yeah, we're basically 10% here, 9.75, which is close enough. Chris Freemason, yeah, that's a good point. I would never drive an 81 Dart here year-round. It'll be a pile of rust within 3 years. Yeah. Barracuda Valiants are Italian cars? Since when? What are you talking about, Barracuda? Am I about to be schooled on the heritage of Valiants? They were very popular with the Italians in Australia. Is that what you're meaning? Mexican spec. He has other cars, I'm sure, to tackle the snow. There you go. Beagle Bob, thanks, Kiwi. Hey, man. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, nothing good or profound that can be said to make it better, but it just sucks. Yep. Sorry, man. Josh Homan, early 80s Lanciers rusted out so fast that it was said they were made out of Soviet steel. Oh, God. Yeah, Italians, I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Like, Italians make Ferraris and some very high-end cars, but I don't think they hold the title of make general terms across the board. And I don't think you can say that Italians make the best cars in the world. Volfly. The closest I came to working on an Italian car was a 93 Cadillac Alante. I hate those cars. Yeah, I've never worked on one. I remember years back thinking I thought they looked pretty cool. I like the look of them, the convertible. But yeah, I've heard, not many good stories about them as a car. Mexican spec. Kiwi, it was a certain US president that sent guns into Mexico. Oh, yeah. What can I say? It's, yeah. Jeff Hutchins, we have no sales tax here. Boy, do we have property tax, though. Mine has gone up 500% in 27 years. Wow. Yeah, that property tax, that would stick in my throat a bit, I gotta be honest. You get taxed on what you own, what you worked hard for, and probably gave up other stuff to get it, and then they charge you property for owning it every year. Yeah, I would struggle with that one. Volfly, the Alante is half Italian. I knew they designed the body, didn't they? Like the body shape of it. Yeah. Yeah. Further to my point, Italians didn't make the best cars. I mean, they make the best supercar in the Ferrari, and that'll start up a whole argument. I mean, possibly shouldn't say the best supercar, but I think it's fair to say they make the most famous supercar in the world. And really, that's all they make, of course, isn't it? A bit like Lamborghini. But Lamborghini's always, to me, to my mind, and this is not a statement about the quality of the car or the performance, but they seem to be second place as far as how famous the brand is. The mark. Don't deny Mexican spec. I agree with you on him still having the CA. Could be a thing. Jeff Hutchins, have you ever figured out if you're still coming out ahead at the end of the year? Not sure. Jeff Hutchins, I don't want to know. No, sometimes it doesn't pay to do the math. It really doesn't. Granddad's junk. Property tax is like our council rates. I paid $1,098 a year. Oh yeah, well, no, actually, no, it's not. Granddad's junk. No, there's a difference. And I think I'm right here. You have a like rates that you pay on your house. But that other property tax they're talking about is like on your car. If you have a jet ski, if you have a boat, if you have any toys, anything really of any value, you actually pay a property tax on those toys. And your car, like the cars that you own, you would get taxed on all of those cars every year, based on the value, whatever they deem the value to be. Yeah, it's crazy. That's that's a separate thing to like the equivalent to rates here. Like we don't have property. What I'm referring to, and I may not have the name quite right, so don't fry me on that. But we pay a tax on our home every year, which is like the council rates in New Zealand. But yeah, we don't pay. I don't pay tax on any of my cars. Um, you know, like a property tax on the cars and the toys and stuff like that. So that is yet another tax here in the States, but it's not in every state. And I know Virginia has it because I knew a guy up in Virginia and he would always bitch and moan about it. Bigger Bob, used baller off eBay. Used ballers off eBay are much less expensive. All I had to do was bend the hangers some. I can't see it from the driver's seat. There you go. Oh, yep. Perfect. Perfect. Chris Freemaster, you don't want to know what I pay in property taxes each year. It isn't cheap. No, it can be very high. When I lived in Texas, the property taxes, or like the rates, Grandad, Tony, were like $9,000 a year. And if I remember rightly, $5,000 of the year went to the local school education, to their budget, the school board budget, for every homeowner. So yeah, it was high. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Shoot, I'm down the page again. Mexican Spec. See you later, guys. I'm off to Buff and Kim's. Fair enough. Well, thanks for coming in, man. Always a pleasure to have you here. Always a pleasure. So, Buff and Kim's must be starting a bit late. Unless I'm that far behind. Granddad's Junk Valley's $80 a year. Nissan van is $151. Oh, that's for That's for taxing each year. Brad Eastman, depends on the car. $40 for a classic. That's pretty reasonable. This Jeff Hutchins, the send guns to the cartels president was our president around 2011. Well, there you go. There's your clue. Tavo, Japanese cars attract a much higher road tax at 40 Ks. That's why they dump them on us lesser country. I thought it was an age thing of so many years. I remember being told it was after 6 years they become very expensive to tax, road tax. I wasn't aware of it being 40,000 Ks. Maybe that was why so many of them had done that. Huh. Volfly pokes at AI with a stick. AI is getting crazy, isn't it? Volfly, I don't know why I like frustrating AI, but it is fun. How do you frustrate AI? Explain yourself, Volfly. Barracuda 91 octane has dropped to 351 a litre. Oh my god, 351 a litre. That's insane. That's insane. Yeah. What does it cost to fill up your Valiant now? Wow, a lot. Jeff Hutchins, if you're judging a 40-year-old car's condition by the odometer, you're already screwed. Well, yeah, it doesn't. It can paint some of the picture, though, to be fair. Robert, Volfly, is it local AI or running in the cloud? Okay. Todd Denier, Chris, 40K is actual miles. That's awesome, man. It's barely run in, is it? It's like a new car. That's very cool. Chris Freemasson, premium fuel here is about $4.45 a gallon. It's about the same here, mate. Yeah, about the same here. And that's the same as 98 in New Zealand. Like the 93 here is the equivalent to 98 in New Zealand. Mexican speak. That's a good one. When I get asked how many miles a 50-year-old car has, I say all of them. That's a good answer. I like it. Running on Volfly, running online, I haven't found time to build a local AI because I need to learn how to do it. Wow. Didn't know you could build a local AI. I've not heard of that. Tavo, rego papers here could fairly be called an assumption of ownership. Fair enough. Robert, Volfly, just be careful. All of your inputs are being recorded and can be used against you if they want to. Barracuda premium is 95. Yeah, they have a 98 though too, don't they, Barracuda? And I think that I understand that's equivalent to our 93 here. Volfly, the first who learns how to manipulate AI will survive better. Yeah, scary but true, I think. Chris Freemasson, I won't touch AI. Been a tech all my life, but AI is a bridge too far for me. Barracuda premium is about $3.85 a litre. Yeah, Todd Denier per litre. Yep. It's crazy, huh? David Tyree, yeah, people still call them ownership papers. We don't actually have documents that are proof of ownership. Every now and then politicians bring up the idea of ownership papers. Oh, really? Good grief. Chris Freemasson, doing some calculating, Barracuda is paying $7.82 US per gallon for premium. Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it? Tavo. Oh, your brain's still working pretty well, man. Saveloy. What? That was a large car made by Plymouth, wasn't it? Very close. Very close. Just one extra letter. Oh, two extra letters, sorry. But very close. That's pretty clever there, Tavo. Well done. Mexican spec. Even if you live in a place that doesn't need a heater, you still need the defroster. Oh, there's some truth to that. Yep. Volfly, been watching the YouTube channel Inside AI. It's pretty entertaining. A guy's running a real life experiment, such as giving it a body to control, a business to run, etc. Oh wow, really? Wow, that's scary stuff. Barracuda, there was a Plymouth registered as a Saveloy here. Come on, Barracuda, are you serious? Savoy, you mean, do you? Yeah, Todd, I think he's factoring in the exchange rate. Chris Freeman is factoring in the exchange rate, and New Zealand dollar is worth about what is it at the moment? 60 odd cents, I think. Somewhere around there, might be in the 50s. But yeah, it's not worth a lot compared to the American dollar. So yeah, so that's where he's come up with that number. He's probably pretty close on that, Todd, to be honest. Predictive text screwing you up, or you just got fat fingers there, Mr. Freemason. Chavo, I think that's what Barry meant. Valiance equals what? See, I can say it here. WOG chariots, Merrickville Mercedes. Merrickville Mercedes. Now that's funny. That's funny. Yes, WOG was a very unflattering nickname for the Italian section of the Australian community. It's probably still used now, and yeah, it's I don't know that it was as offensive as the N word is here in the States, but yeah, I don't. Depending how many Italians were around, you might think twice before saying that. Yeah, but that's what it meant. I don't know where the word came from actually, but it's 1 minute past 9 already, so we don't have time to get into that, and it's not a great subject anyway. Fly? What are you talking about? Later. I'm not, damn it. I'm Jesus Christ. My brother was damaged. Barracuda, Merrickville Mercedes. Yeah, that's funny. Man, it's been I have heard that term before, but it's been decades. Jeff Hutchins, don't forget the Maserati K car. They made a Maserati K car? Good Lord. The Chrysler TC by Maserati. A fine vehicle for the discerning motorist. Well, okay. Barracuda. I'm looking around for a GT40 station wagon. A GT40 station wagon? David Torrey, the first Lamborghini test driver was a Kiwi, Bob Wallace. Really? That's interesting. All right, fellas. Well, yeah. Jeff Hutchins, this is way before that, and Cash for Clunkers destroyed the engines. Another great idea by a 2008 resident. Yeah. Cash for Clunkers. That we lost a lot of cars with that. Don't deny AI is going to be the world's downfall. You may be right there, sir. Granddad's joke. I just put earmuffs on my 58 Savoy. She's got that feeling. I'll bet she does. Chris Freemason, not fat fingers, just worn out gaming keyboard. Oh, there you go. Todd and I wasn't figuring in the exchange rate. Yeah, the exchange rate's savage. I mean, it's great if we, like we'd send the odd bit of money back to New Zealand, and it's awesome. You get so many New Zealand dollars that you send a few $100 American back to New Zealand, and it's huge. But yeah, coming the other way, it's very hard for Kiwis to come holidaying in the States because it's super expensive. Look at some of Trump's good speeches written by AI. It was too polite. It blows me away how well AI like writes and shit, like, because they like my videos is a good one. Like I'll put up a video and then AI does a summary of it, and it's like that's a pretty good summary. That's it's better than I would have written a summary for my own video. It's frighteningly clever. Frighteningly clever. Jeff Hutchins, Lamborghini helped in designing the Viper V10. Chrysler owned them at the time. Right. Tabo, Barracuda. Yes, we have Savoys. Very greasy after effect. Charming. I know what you mean, but I didn't need to hear that. I can't stand them. All right, fellas. Well, it is time to go. It's 9:05. I'm out of bourbon, which is probably a good thing. And I'm heading off to get some shut eye. We've got another big day at the shop tomorrow. Mustangs coming out my ears. Various shapes and sizes, but we'll get them knocked out and try and jump back on the Alpine for a few hours. We shall see. But anyway, watch out for more videos coming. We've got one on that 64 SS Impala coming, one on a Mustang we're doing a little bit of work to, and yeah, the Alpine. So look out for those. You guys have a good week. Get to working on your toys and think about what we're going to chat about next week. Same time, same place. All right, fellas, have a good one. Take it easy. Look after yourselves.